Hey everybody, Aaron Fisher here, and we are very excited with Apollo Robbins coming to CC for part 2 of his big 2-part living room lecture for Conjuror Community. I guess that's coming up in April, in just about a week from today. Let's share a small clip of Apollo that'll give you a little bit of perspective on how magicians stop time.
Apollo, I have a quick question. One of the things that I think looks mystifying to us sitting here now that we'll learn in 2 weeks is everything looks choreographed and there's 1,000 things happening really fast. But I bet from your perspective, over time and with repetition, it slows down for you. Yep. You're in that flow like a football player. They talk all the time about, you know what, you go from college to the NFL and at some point the game kind of just slows down for you. Is that what I'd like to try and get across to the membership is this sense of, as you do it more, all of these things you're talking about may seem rapid fire on the outside, but to you, you're in this mode where it's happening and things are happening in a slower motion than to the outside observer. Would that be accurate or not?
Absolutely. And that's an interesting thing about the perception of time, the temporal illusion of what I'm doing, because it seems fast. And it should feel to most that I have the ability to stop time, because it's the only way they can really explain a lot of it. That functionally, somehow he stops time because I'm not going to accept that he stole that, put it back, and did something. So the other solution is that I have a time travel button. And so one's more realistic, you know? Because that watch, you know, the same thing that I have the inside battery of your watch. Well, where was I? Was I drinking something? Did you sedate me? How did you get the inside of my watch? So that's the effect, right? And it's an interesting piece because the truth, perhaps you guys, if you can get them asking the wrong question, they'll never arrive at the right answer. Was that Al Baker?
Wow. Kind of a whole world inside a nutshell, right, guys?
Yeah, magic is very powerful. Magic will stop you in your tracks. And if you've never seen it before, you could lose time. You could lose a day. You could lose where you're at.
You know, when you watch Apollo, it's that what he's talking about in that clip right there, that's exactly what it feels like. You know, it just feels exactly like he stopped time. Like you've seen, is it maybe Star Trek or something where they stop time and move people around and stuff? It feels like that's what happened, you know?
It is. It's just like Slipstream in that X-Men movie. You watch him move around and people, it's as though they're paused and they don't know what's happening. And really what it is it's that dual reality thing that for most of us magicians, there's an old trick called paper balls over the head. And it's one where the audience really laughs because they watch you with a person on stage taking a ball, you know, and they see the ball disappear, but everyone else sees you throwing the ball over their head. And so the audience is laughing while the person's watching it and being freaked out, right? But that's kind of what Apollo is doing to everyone all the time. That's how he's got a big bunch of people on stage around him, and they're all reacting to what they should be reacting to and not seeing what they shouldn't be seeing. Right.
And sometimes he's even using that to his advantage by giving them the stuff he takes, right? Like they don't even know that they're in on the show. And all of a sudden he takes something from someone and now you're being handed a wallet or a watch. He's saying, hang on to that for a second with a wink and a nod. And you don't even know. So it's like, there's a reality for the person that he's taking from. There's a reality that the audience sees. There's a reality for that spectator. There's so many things that are happening. You could see how you might lose time.
you know, it's really very fascinating is I think this is almost how Apollo has created the illusion that he's doing a pickpocket show when he's doing a magic show, because there's a hook there with what he may take. People don't realize that all the effects are coming by what he gives back. So it's not like when a person does this and something's gone. That's a moment, but maybe a person understands it. Maybe 2 or 3 see it or understand it, but it's when the other person pulls that missing object out of their pocket that everyone goes, oh, and it's not the effect of something being taken. It's the effect of something being appearing, you know, it's me producing a phone reframed, right? And so he's doing this incredible magic and he's teaching us all how it works. And in part 1, he's showing us the foundations of it, his story, where he came from, how he developed this unique perspective in the world, and then how he developed and built the tools and the effects that let him do it. And then in part 2, and this is why you don't want to miss it if you possibly can, he's going to show us miracles we can do once we have this foundation that he's planting for us in part 1. So if you're watching this in real time, you can catch up now and be there live for part 2. And I'm going to be there in his house participating. Oh my God, I'm so freaked out. And there's a good chance that if you join Conjuror Community, you'll be able to catch it there too. Bye-bye.